Hi everyone, welcome to Marianne's Mystic Mentions. I'm Marianne, and welcome to your first half of the month of October Tarot, Oracle, and Love Connection readings for every single zodiac sign. And welcome new viewers. If you are the first time here to my channel, I really appreciate you stopping in. Certainly welcome all the returning. I greatly appreciate you. I am excited to do the featured sun sign reading for the beautiful air sign of Aquarius. So I'm almost finished with the readings. I will be uploading them in the next day or so, and crossing my fingers to this beautiful Mercury retrograde in Libra we're experiencing now in the season of Libra. Happy birthday, Libras, if you happen to be cross-watching for an Aquarius reading, which would make sense because you're both air signs and you both have a lot of, pull with each other, a lot of harmonizing energy there. And yeah, so Aquarius, it is absolutely a very, very special year for you. And yes, you had a small time there where Jupiter left your sign from July 13th to May 13th to July 28th. Forgive me. The Mercury retrograde is definitely affecting me. It always does. My speech is kind of like, my mind it's having it feel great. It's just not connecting sometimes. So please bear with me and we'll keep it pushing through for you. And so, but yes, we have, your sign has had Jupiter in it with the exception of that little hiatus. And then it's still in your sign, Jupiter and Saturn, very powerful, very opposite energies. Jupiter is freedom seeking and powerful, magical, lucky opportunity, expansion of things, no matter what, good or bad, that it touches, right? So you got to be aware of what it is you're wanting and what you're wishing for, right? But it's a really, really auspicious and beautiful thing to happen to each of us because it visits our sign every 12 years. And then whatever you put forth during that year, what opportunity comes in, can last the following 12 years. So that's really beautiful to know and inspirational, right? And though it is in, and then Saturn, of course, is restrictive energy, which is there to teach us to keep on track, and don't go crazy, don't go overboard. Keep the balance like we're in Libra season. It's really enforcing that right now. And you'll be grateful in the end because whatever it is you're pursuing or you're working towards, you'll get the just rewards, you'll get the gifts at the end. It's usually 2.5 years in each sign, and it will be in your sign, meaning Saturn, through all of 22 and then through March of 2023. So it's actually beautiful. It's going to really cater to your wanting to stay on track and just really get the job done, okay? Which is something I think you do anyway. It's not going to be like a major upset for you. It's not as challenging for you as it might be for others, whereas in other signs, it just affects us all differently. So I'm going to pick your highlighted connection, though, Aquarius, for the first half of the month of October. And this is a spiritly guided connection for you. I do it right in front of you. There's no, pre-practiced messages to be had. And the reality is that the highlighted connection could very well be somebody that you're very familiar with, or an energy that's very, very present right now for the first half of October. And if it isn't either of those and you're not resonating, you may want to watch your moon, rising, or ascendant signs because, or Venus, rising and ascendant are actually the same. They just say it in different ways, placements, because you can feel a whole different pull or connection with those sometimes than you would your sun sign. And so in addition to this highlighted, though, I do pull the 4-card category messages as well as 2 oracles for this highlighted connection, but all of your relationships. So somewhere in here is going to be a message. And when we listen, we do receive, okay? So you'll certainly know. And so for you, beautiful Aquarius, you have Aquarius. So you're really feeling strong in your energy. And I get it in the sense that you are an air sign, you are a mental sign. You are very logical and very intelligent. You want to learn, you want to speak and express yourself, you want to share information. And as an Aquarius, you're ruled by Uranus. So it's like unpredictable opportunities that come through in that gift for, you know, technology, you know, starting a YouTube channel, starting your own business that has to do with Zoom, or, you know, ways to reach people throughout the world, which is what exactly you represent. You represent the big masses, you know, helping all of us having a fair, you know, equality opportunity, you know, not just a certain percentage or anything. It's everything or nothing, right? Which is a beautiful, you know, harmonious and wonderful humanitarian kind of way to be. And that's what you're about. You're friendly, you're sociable, you care a lot. You can, like I said, be considered detached because of the mind aspect, the mental, the more masculine energy that you represent. But you really are out for just wanting to be helpful in as many ways as you can, and you usually come through. You're in charge a lot of times, you know, you have that personality, you know, you're not mincing words a lot of times. So your beautiful connection though, oh, okay, this isn't the first time I've gotten this. You have the powerful, wonderful, transformational energy of the water sign of Scorpio. Now, this is not a mistake. I know many connections and compatibility relationships with Aquarius and Scorpio. And yes, you're very different. Air and water are not the most compatible of the elements, but I see it all the time. There's a definite pull, there's an understanding, you are a fixed sign, okay? There's fixed, there's cardinal, and there's mutable. Scorpio is a fixed sign, so there's that harmony, right? There's that fundamental, you know, connection, understanding of each other. Determination comes to mind with the fixed signs, you know. Stubborn is another word that's used. I choose to use higher energy level words, you know, for optimistic recognition of all of us having something beautiful to offer, you know, in this world and this planet and each other. And so you've got that watery element of Scorpio, and it just so happens Venus, the beautiful feminine, the most feminine planet, is in the sign of Scorpio, and it's also the ruling planet of Libra, the season we're in, the retrograde we're in. So there's a lot of feminine, loving, compassionate, intense, physical, you know, intimate, just beautiful energies happening. So it stands to reason that you'd be picking up on that Scorpio energy. Like I said, if it isn't a Scorpio that actually is in your life in some capacity, it doesn't always have to be romantic. I always make that clear for the love connections. Love is the most powerful energy in the planet. We want that in some capacity. And relationships are one of the key things and elements and energies that are brought to us in addition to balance during Libra season. Libra is very interested in relationships and that connection. And so, you know, there's some really interesting, beautiful energies coming through with this highlighted connection. If it's not, like I said, a person you're with, you may have water in your natal chart. You may have that very same intensity about what you do, and that drive and that desire to change and renew yourself, regain, you know, clarity on something. So, and when you combine the mind, like yours, Aquarius, with the heart and feelings, it's the perfect holistic, you know, aspect of any relationship and life in general, you know, just a better balance. So I am going to read to you the 4 major categories that have to do with this highlighted connection. And once again, all of your connections for the first half of October. And as I said, we are in a retrograde. It'll happen through the 18th, when it then goes into the shadow, which, you know, it starts to build up the momentum. Mercury is the fastest planet, and it's in retrograde. It slows us down, you know, and there's confusion and conversation and mental pursuits. There's delays, there's unexpected changes, there's scheduling, resets, transportation issues can come up. There could be, you know, a need for a new car or an interest in a new car. I wouldn't buy a new car during a retrograde. People do. There'll be changes, no doubt, to the contracts. Be careful about that. But just being open to changes, being flexible, because they'll come about. They always do. And not necessarily, you know, getting really alarmed when your technology kind of goes on the fritz. It is temporary. And if you have to buy a new one, I recommend you do it after the retrograde goes forward. But either way, it works, and we make life work, and we have a lot of retrogrades and retrograde energies throughout the year. Every year. It's just being prepared. So, The new moon is coming along on the 6th of October in Libra, and that's very, very important for you as a fellow air sign. But once again, it is the intentions and the drive and the desires we have, but with every new moon, that's when you write it down. You know, it's so powerful, the influence, and it can last a couple of weeks or more. So putting forth your desire in the Libra aspect of a new moon, of love, of relationships, of balance, of fairness, of compromise, of, you know, working through and settling and understanding different perspectives and the compromise needed in relationships, right? And on all levels. So I just love that for you, Aquarius. And it could be a new idea of a job or somebody you want to work with in partnership on a work-related situation. That could be so, so beautiful and life-changing, right? This is your year for so many possibilities. Jupiter working in your corner. So yeah, it's got a long time left, really. It's not till December 29th, I believe, it goes into Pisces, where it had stayed for that short amount of time. So utilize it to the best of your ability. I've shaken these up quite a bit because we have had a lot of repeats, which doesn't really surprise me during retrograde. That's what it's about, repeats, you know, everything So I've gotten a lot of the same messages coming through. And your overall energy coming into the first half of October, Aquarius. I have not pulled this. I'm using the beautiful deck of Hush Tarot. It is a combination of the spirit world and the animal kingdom and nature all in one, and it's just absolutely exquisite as far as the illustrations, and there's detail, and I keep seeing new things, and I've had to study it quite a bit. There's a little bit of confusion for me, or there was, without a picture book to go by between the swords and the wands, but I've worked it through. And you have the Eight of Cups. That's what you're coming into October. This makes perfect sense, and this is not a repeat, not this month, but it has been in the last 2 or 3 months. Eight of Cups is basically walking away from a lot of the emotional elements that have really affected you in the last year, this past year. Let's go further to say a good year or more ago. The losses, the changes, the heart-centered emotional goodbyes, you know, just really, really, as an air sign, you know, really takes you by, not by surprise, but you were feeling a lot more emotional than normal. You know, you let your heart lead your way. And you know now that it's time to heal. You know now that it's time to rise above once again, change your perspective, and move forward to dealing with what's happening at this moment and onward, okay? The present is the most important. We get the most energy and the most manifestational energy from this moment. And the past is the past. You've heard this before many times. It's not to dismiss it, but it just feels like you've really immersed yourself in the sadness or what have you, and the discomfort and the grieving, if you will. And like everybody, it's all in their own divine timing, but it is time for you to focus on filling those cups and recognizing the 10 of Cups is not that far away, and that's the ultimate in emotional stability, in family, in love, in relationships, in self, you know, acceptance, and self-love, all of the above. And that's beautiful. You know, it's time. I know I've had yet another loss in my family in the last month. It was known in a way, but I was holding on for dear life to this last uncle of mine, who I loved so much, you know, and he represented the last living relative on my dad's side in the nuclear family, you know, the family itself. So that they're all together now, and loved him so much. Beautiful, beautiful thoughts about it. But that sort of thing, that kind of an example. Knowing I have to go forward, it certainly would want me to. But feeling really sad at the time, and just knowing it was a happy sad too, if that makes sense. It's just, that's where you're at. You're feeling more grounded that way. I will say that. The owl of knowledge and wisdom, you know, and the past the cycles that happen in life, right? The life and death, the rebirth, the knowing that this is ever so much a part of life than anything else. And then you've got this, which looks to me like a woman who has a witch on, like you're in charge. You are the master or the magician, if you will, or the high priestess to change and let your life be what you want to be, and change that focus and change that emotional disheartenment to fulfillment. It can be done. We can all do that. We're totally responsible for that many times. So I really like that. That's the first time that's come up as the first category. So I like that a lot for you, Aquarius. And to me, the wisdom is, once again, the mind and the ideas and the inventions and the, innovations that come through as an Aquarius that you are. So always thinking, always wanting to improve and learn and grow and share that, the other thing I saw for the first time is it's actually got the word hush in here. So maybe you're just being more introspective, which of course is part of the retrograde. It's always about introspection. The reversal in the retrograde aspect means it goes more inward. It's not about the outside world. It's how we're perceiving and how we're receiving and feeling about ourselves and how we react and interact in the outer experiences of our life. So I like that a lot too. Reminding you to stay true to who you are always, and your intuition and the higher power that you do have. We're all magical creatures here. We're all spiritual light creatures that manifest and create our worlds. And the second category is the possible blessings or obstacles. So it's basically a narrative that follows each category. And you have the Six of Cups. There you go again. There's the emotions. So here you've had this feeling and this, what is the term I would use? Just this, this recognition that it's time to move up and onward and to feel happy about the sadness, if that makes sense, and emotions that took place, that you have them. I mean, to even have them as a blessing, right? To be able to feel to that extent is beautiful. And it's vulnerable and it's necessary, and it's a purging of sorts. And then you go to the Six of Cups, and it's happy, beautiful, sentimental energies and people in your life, kind of just really sitting and thinking about it a little bit more, because of the changes that have happened. But not because you're sad, but because I'm going to make it. It's all going to be okay. And I'm super happy. For example, a child that's gone off to college for the first time. This is huge. It's a huge life transformational thing. And I happen to have a sister who's in Aquarius that's happened to her. Her youngest went away to college. And wow, you think about it, you know what's going to happen, and boom, here it is. And it seems like it was only yesterday you were talking about it. Now you're here, but you're like, wow, it's happening. It's good. It's perfect. He's excelling. He's becoming his own person, and he's educating himself, and all the beautiful things that come from that, because not everybody has that gift and that ability. So you're feeling really celebratory and exceptionally grateful and blessed, I think. It's a happy. It could bring in other people from your past that remind you, or maybe siblings or, distant friends that have come back. And that would make sense to you. But it's a beautiful energy, and it's a genuine. There's reciprocation from this energy. The people who are surrounding you now, they feel that with you. So I love that. That's a blessing. If it's an obstacle, it's just that you maybe a little bit more on the emotional than the accepting. I don't know. But I absolutely love that. And emotions are definitely key for you right now. I can understand that. Retrogrades do bring back feelings and things, especially when we're being more introspective. And we have the time to be calmer and allow that time, because sometimes that's exactly what's meant to be for us. You need to stop and really think and feel and smell the roses, as they say. Look at the beauty in life. Look at the beauty in life. It's everywhere. And the third, I should say, category is that of finances. And what's happening at this point, or half of the month, leading up from last month's. If you hadn't had a chance to look at your end of the month readings, they have been up, and they may give you a little more insight, or you might be interested to see how it's progressed thus far and is progressing. And I always say that, you know, finances are not only just about money, they're about wealth, right? And what we consider wealth. And it's different for everybody. And I always feel like my health is in the wealth. Well, you have a very transformational card. And here you're highlighted was, you know, Scorpio. And that is the indicator and the representation of this card, which is death. I said that the transformation of all transformations, Scorpio is ruled by Pluto, so it is the planet of transformation and deep acknowledgement of our great and our less great attributes, our shadow side, our higher energies, you know, all of it, just the whole real deal, you know, no facade, no masks, no nothing, just the genuine aspect, and clearing out, decluttering. Pluto represents disease. It represents, you know, all sorts of really darker energies, if for lack of a better word, right? Only to be seen and to face them head on and release it, you know, let it go. And here you are. It's the 8th house. It is the house of undoing. Is that, no, that's the 12th house. I apologize. It's the house of other people's money. It's value. It's inheritance. Once again, life, death, or other. It doesn't have to be from a death. The accumulation of that, unexpected, you know, what with your ruling planet being Uranus, it's a constant for you, Aquarius. Could be phenomenal, though. Could be beautiful. Could be messages coming through that are letting you know that this is something coming in, that you had a loss. You had a, you know, you have someone in your family that left you something you weren't expecting. That would come through at this time in the financial department. Maybe playing the lottery. I don't, you know, I'm not advocating that, but why not? If it's a big, huge amount, someone's got to win, right? I love it. This is perfect. This is starting over. This is rejuvenating yourself, beginning again, you know, in some capacity. And when you have a solar return, of course, which, you know, you don't have a solar return, we're in Libra season, but you do have Jupiter, which is a huge thing. So there could be incredible opportunities that you might not have in other years. And this is time to really face them and to create them, basically. You know, it's about our self-creations, our manifestations. So a big change in that department. And I don't always see, of course, death as meaning literal death. But once again, you may have had that too. And that showed in the first sign of the 8 of Cups of a loss. And you're getting through it. You're going to get through it just like you do everything else, and we all do. And that's the best part about life is getting up and brushing ourselves off and saying, wow, I didn't think I was going to make it through that. And here I am, stronger than ever, right? So the final category is that of surprises and wishes. And I love this because, you know, once again, you have a lot of surprises in life. Some are definitely beautiful, and some are just so unexpected and still yet beautiful. Some not so much, but then the wishes. What are we wishing for? You're the star in the zodiac. You know, you represent the star, the wish of all wishes that you'll hold on to with everything that you are and never stop believing in. And that's when they happen. You're determined. You're willing to wait for that because you're not going to give up. And so for your beautiful message coming through for the, well, that's the same position as last time. It's the King of Swords. It's you. It's you in your finest hour. It's your strength. It's your maturity. It's knowing you are going to be very, very true to yourself. You're going to say what you need to say. The swords are, you know, they're very, very, they cut away stuff that doesn't need to be there. The toxicities, the people, the circumstances, the jobs, the whatever, you know, you're not willing to compromise. If it's to your detriment, it's not happening anymore. You're very good at speaking how you feel. You're extremely good at speaking, actually. It's one of your attributes. It might be something you want to consider and create more of a, some kind of a, I don't know, new entrepreneurial endeavor, you know, new business, new organization, new, you know, philanthropic aspect. And it definitely caters at this time with Libra in a partnership way. You're strong enough to do anything on your own, but and you're independent and freedom seeking as well. That is who you are as the sign of Aquarius. However, I feel like it is more about going together, and besides the masses you want to help, in a partnership, in a relationship, there's two bunnies. There's one each of the other, but there's, yeah, this is saying that it's up to you. What do you want to do? This is your energy. Your wishes are coming true. You created them. Just love them and embrace them and take them to the bitter end, okay? Or the better end. Doesn't have to be bitter by any means. But I love this for you. I love it as a final energy for you, because you've got a lot of emotion, but you're still very, very capable of clear thinking, especially after the retrograde. And you're going to go far. You're going to go a lot of places. People are going to recognize you. You're going to be seen, I think. It's higher institutions. It's learning. You could be the educator. You could be going further into education to advance yourself. You're not nearly done. You've just started. You've really just started. So absolutely love this reading. I'm going to finish the 2 oracle messages before I say goodbye to you, and just tell you that it's a special, special time of the year. It is a harvest time. It's also a time when there's very, very, the veil, as it were, the veil between the other worlds and energies, if you will, is much thinner. So the intuition and the guidance is very, very prevalent and very strong, especially with Scorpio in the mix and season coming up. It's the deepest, right? So I like that a lot, and I feel like there's a lot of opportunity as an air sign, to definitely go inward more and to really, really utilize your gifts as a spiritual, psychic and intuitive person. And this will also give you some information and some beautiful inspiration and wisdom that I absolutely love. I've loved every single one of these cards. I'm so grateful I have it. And it is the Starseed Oracle. And for you, for the rest of the beginning of the first half of the month, Whale and Orca Elders, share your song, frequency of sound, and diving deep. Wow. I mean, we talked about the transformation, the death, the change, the Pluto influence, right? Diving deep. Look at this. And the water, reference, because water is our emotions and it's fluid and it can get anywhere, and it just has there's no boundaries. It's just fluid, and it's very easy to be receptive and to feel and to understand and to pick up on the messages that come through. I feel there's a high intuition going on here for sure. And it's a beautiful gift. So let me read to you this message and see where we're going from there. There we go. The Whale and Orca Elders are benevolent cosmic beings here to anchor a frequency of love onto the planet, to harmonize it with their song. As they weave around the oceans, they do so much more than any of us know. Their physical presence affects Earth's magnetic field, and their harmonics call us to wake up and remember our own songs, or our own soul's song. Isn't that gorgeous? Looking into the eye of a whale is something you'll never forget. I'd love to do that. Whales see into your very being, and in an instant you're charged forever. You're changed forever. They see beyond the physical, the woundings, the identity, the personality, the story. They see right into your soul. If you pull this card, you're being called to surrender to your deepest truth and to share it with potency. Oh my gosh, it is one of those times. This is perfectly synchronistic with your reading. I always have to thank Spirit for that. Thank you. Let's see here. To stretch your heart wide enough to hold it all. To live your fears, doubts, and baggage. To leave your fears. I gotta get new glasses. What the? Whew. To leave your fears, doubts, and baggage at the door. To question any part of you that doesn't feel good enough. The Whale and Orca Elders want you to give others the privilege of seeing who you truly are. Standing strong in your energy and being who you are, the confidence of who you are, the self-acceptance of who you are. That does represent air elements long and the short of it. That's the high energy. That's what you are. That's what you share and help the world to understand, you know? And I love that it says that. To drop your hang-ups and personality flaws and get busy revealing the unique note your soul came here to sing. Allow the song that echoes in the 4 chambers of your heart to emanate in all 4 directions. Peel back the layers of suffering and pain, the 8 of Cups, and reveal to others your soul's true song, and endeavor to see the soul of those you meet. This is a phenomenal message. This is absolutely beautiful, and it absolutely represents what the messages were saying. And I love it for you, Aquarius. So hopefully you're feeling it, and if you're not, give it some time, you know, allow that to happen as well. Definitely get into nature, go to the beach, you know, let those energetic waves just completely rush over you and heal you, even if you're not in the water. I mean, it's such a healing energy. And it's free if you go by and just sit there and take it all in. So I'm going to finish with your Oracle of the Super Attractor Manifestation deck, where you feel into existence the life you want. You truly feel it in there. You bring it in, yes, through our mind, but mainly through our feelings, our emotions, and that's what catapults it into our reality and our tangible physical existence. It happens every single day. It happens to all of us in so many ways. We are manifestors. So for you, my dear beautiful Aquarius, and all of your beautiful love connections for the first half of the month and always, your message is, I haven't seen this in a while. Well, it's interesting. There's that new moon in Libra, so there's going to be a very strong influence and effect that's going to really, really help you move forward in some direction that you've been wanting to. It is your fellow air sign. When I connect to the spiritual realm, I open the door to receive divine guidance, clear direction, and great wisdom. And that is the absolute truth. Take a picture. It could be your affirmation or your mantra. Say it over and over and over and watch it actually a bit. In fact, this is the time to dream the biggest you possibly can and to imagine to the highest extent you can and just watch it come true, never doubting it for a moment. Wishing upon that star, Aquarius. Here you go. I love it. I love you. I appreciate you taking the time, and I hope you'll come back for your mid-month readings because I'll be here for you. And until then, take extremely good care, and namaste. Good to see you. Bye for now.